I'm more now identified with my soul and more compassionate to my body.
In 1997, Ram Dass suffered a massive cerebral hemorrhage. Doctors gave him a 10% chance of survival. The stroke led him to a deeper understanding of his friend Timothy Leary's dying.
See, I don't know how I'll be if I'm in your situation. At this moment, I don't feel anxious at all. I mean, about my life or anything.
We're all going to die. I'm approaching my stages of my dying with incredible fascination and interest and anticipation. Why not learn how to do it with class and style and friendship as the climactic expression of a life?
No government agency or no profession can solve these problems for you. I've got to do it for myself, you've got to do it for yourself, and all the viewers have got to do it for themselves.
You can't turn this over to the doctors. You can't turn it over to the priests. You can't turn it over to the medical profession. Take charge of it. Plan it. Talk to your friends about it.
He turned it into a theater piece. He turned it into a poem. He turned it into a dance, which is just what he did with all the rest of his life. Some people do some of their most profound spiritual work in the last few minutes before they die.
Keep a fire burning in your eye, and pay attention to the open sky. You never know what will be coming down. I don't know what happens when people die. I can't seem to grasp it as hard as I try. It's like a song I can hear playing right in my ear that I can't sing. I can't help listening. Keep a fire for the human race. Let your prayers go drifting into space. You never know what will be coming down.
The use of psychedelic drugs such as marijuana, mescaline, LSD is out of control in the United States today.
The psychotropic drugs were demonized and glorified for the wrong reasons in the 60s. That's natural.
The LSD was interesting because when he took the LSD, he didn't talk for about 5 days. And I got afraid we'd lost Timothy. Finally, when he was able to speak, it was more like, wow.
There is nothing to fear in LSD. There is nothing to fear from our own nervous system.
It's a dying experience, or it's a death experience. There's a classic mystic thing of joy and wonder.
It's the dying process of the psychological realm. When I was at Harvard with Timothy, I was so gung-ho, I had appointments in 4 departments.
You were on the tenure track.
I know I was.
If it weren't for me, you would be
I'd be somebody today.
retired Harvard.
You blew my cup.
I
You
know
blew
it.
me apart.
Basically, I was thrown out of Harvard because of Tim's revolutionary spirit. He frightened me because he was so free.
What happened was you were the one that showed me that it was possible to escape from the system.
You can't go on anyone else's trip. You can only go on your own trip until you find out it's all our trip. And when we get home, we all get back with great tales of trips, except we all took the trip together.
As Ram Dass looked inward and to the east, expanding his consciousness without drugs, Tim continued to explore the potential of drugs, running afoul of the system.
It was as if all these did was accentuate the direction his life was always going in. I began to sense what a visionary was, that Timothy had the ability to see outside of systems.
I know I have to answer questions about drugs because I've been labeled, as we say in prison, that's on my jacket. But I have no more to do with drugs than Einstein has to do with the atomic bomb. I've been in 40 jails in 4 continents.
I haven't even been busted yet.
every technique that science has now for bringing you back, I've signed up with. If you'll notice in this next room, there's a chronics device that you can just go in there and simulate dying. And I know this is corny, it's pathetic, but the first ships, they were rowboats. The churches say, no, you have no right to take, your body belongs to God. Well, show me the paperwork.
Let's say you didn't freeze your brain, it just got eaten by worms.
Okay.
So is my sense of the continuity of awareness beyond the brain is just my wanting to keep something going? Is that?
I don't have that.
I know you don't have it.
Yeah.
And so
I'm curious.
What becomes you're curious. I'm curious
I'm
too.
very curious.
If you see that the moment of death is the moment when you engage the deepest mystery of the universe, you will be curious, you'll be present, you'll be non-clinging to the past and not grabbing, just be with each moment, moment by moment. And I think what we really need to do is reduce our phobia sufficiently to sacralize death, to make death a sacred ritual.
Do you use the word soul?
Soul.
Yeah,
All
you've
the
used it a
time.
lot. What do you mean by it?
It's
Consciousness.
super consciousness, and she hangs around the brain, not the sole of your foot. She's going to hang around the brain. That's
Well, Ramana Maharshi says it's right here.
the heart. Oh, the
In the
heart.
heart.
I've had to tell 1,000 Hindu gurus that the heart is a wonderful organ to pump blood, and they haven't discovered Harvey's theory of circulation. They're using the heart as a metaphor.
Yes, they're using heart as a metaphor.
It's a very bad metaphor, I think.
They're using the lower right-hand corner, the size of a thumb. Are
you kidding me?
No.
Wow.
It's the size of a thumb.
Yeah.
It's called the hridayam, and it's right here.
It grows there.
It's right there.
Naturally.
It's there. It's there. It's not in a physical manifestation. It's,
I
it's in a
see.
subtle form.
How do you contact it?
Well, you got to get better technology.
Well, see, man. Better than LSD and better than...
Well, in LSD you saw all that, but it went by so fast and you didn't have a model, a conceptual model to save it. It just went through. Because so much went through every time I took acid. It must be for you too. That what we have conceptualized is the tiniest trivia of the edge of the whole thing. And that's why dying seems so fascinating to me.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because you're going like, like this.
You hope.
Huh?
It may not be that way. I hope it is. It's got to be that way. Think for yourselves. Discover, explore, and treasure your own uniqueness. The proper study of a human being is yourself.
Tim's right. Go into yourself. And then, if you go in deep enough, there is truth. And that truth leads you to pick the people, the beings with whom you're going to spend your life and your death.
35 years we've been dancing like this. It's been a hell of a dance, hasn't it?
That's an incredible love there. There are very few marriages, well, they're not, but
No, I know,
also
we've
we're
done very
different.
well, huh?
And we're totally different.
So
Not totally
different,
different, yeah.
so different.
Great.
But that at this moment we so appreciate each other. Isn't that nice?
Big hug. Okay, there we go. Okay, got it.
In the end, there